What up? What up? What up, world? We are back. I'm Anthony, aka Rasta. This is Get Right Fantasy Network. I'm here with your boy, Classic Mike. What up? What up? What up, Classic Mike?
Not
Super
much, brother.
Scott Fishbowl invite Classic Mike in the house. How's it going? Congratulations, my brother. We have a representative of Get Right Fantasy Network in the Scott Fishbowl, our one and only classic move getting in there. Well done.
Yeah. Oh,
Congratulations.
honestly, I don't even know how. And I have to give a shout out to Wilson because
Wilson.
Wilson's in the house too. Wilson literally kept like adding me to everything that there was a contest for literally everything to try to get one spot in there. I'm like, okay, I did it. I got into two. I got second place and fourth place when they were doing these like runs. I'm sitting there, the 100-yard run thing, and I'm like, oh my God, I almost made it. And then I didn't make it for any of those, but then all of a sudden I got an invite and I didn't know if it was like mine or what he did, but I feel so bad for Wilson because Wilson actually won the exact same thing that I was in, those 100-yard runs, and didn't get in because they filled all the spots. And I'm like, I felt so bad, and he got a little screwed out of it, which, you know, it is what it is, but it's one of those things where, you know, anything can happen with these things. So.
Right. I thought I saw Wilson got in though, but
no, well, that was my point. He did get in. He got invited and then uninvited at the very last minute, and he was trying to like, you know, well, not appeal, but try to reach out and be like, hey guys, like I want a spot, like what the hell. And there was one literal spot left, and they didn't use his name to put, like, they didn't put him in. And
dang, Wilson,
man. I felt so bad.
He was in there last year though.
Yeah.
So is what it is. So shout out to the Scott Fishbowl, SFB12 hashtag. It's out there. Make sure if you don't know Scott Fishbowl, go check it out. Obviously great what they do over there. You know, it's all for nonprofit. It's basically kind of the inaugural start of the fantasy football season. Kind of once this happened, it's the initial draft that kicks off. I know they're doing in-person drafts this year.
Oh yeah,
which is real fun. I believe our friend of the show, Mr. FF Tycoon, aka the best dressed man in fantasy football, aka what else? Everything else, aka just aka.
Too many AKA.
That's what it is. I think he went and did a live draft this weekend.
Oh, nice.
So hopefully he can come and report back to that. I'm sure he'll talk about it on his channel.
Yeah.
Go check it out. But yeah,
I think Dave did a live draft for Denver. I think he went to Denver.
The Denver one part. There it is.
He definitely did that one.
So representing it, Classic. Good luck to you, brother. Congratulations on the invite. Represent us well. Have fun in there, man. And hold it down. I got in the satellite last year. I got second place in my division. I don't know how far along I went after that. I couldn't quite follow it on MFL, but I feel like I did okay in that.
Yeah, MFL is definitely a challenge. But next year, all Scott Fish is on Sleeper. They officially announced that I think a week or two ago. So that should be awesome. I think Sleeper announced it, so that was great to hear. You know, but beyond that, this is one of the weirdest. Like, I've drafted teams before, but the scoring format is completely different. The rules are
third round reversal.
Different. Oh, the reversal. I had the second pick. Oh, it's incredible. You know,
you can even draft kickers, man.
Well,
you could flex kickers.
You can flex the kicker, and I'm like, go kicker.
I drafted Rodrigo Blankenship last year. That didn't work out. And Will Lutz. Didn't work out very well.
No.
But I still got second, so I wasn't hating.
No. I'm in a division with Matthew Berry and a few other, you know, big name guys. So, but they're not in my league, thank God. They're in my division though. So when we get to the very end, when we start breaking it down, it is what it is. So we got Wilson saying, it's all good, Mike. The only league I care about is the Get Right Fantasy League or Listener League. Okay. Very nice.
There it is.
I love it, Wilson.
Little hint there too. We're getting close, man, to 400 subscribers.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody out there that's part of Get Right. We appreciate the support where you guys have gotten us here so far. We're definitely still trying to push through it here. So again, if you do know anybody that's into fantasy football, maybe not necessarily in your league, but anybody else that you know is there, have them subscribe to the channel, man. Hit that subscribe button. If you're in here and you're already subscribed, hit that like button for us. It helps with the algorithms to get out into other people's feeds. They can come across our channel. And then hopefully, if you are one of those folks that are watching and you're not subscribed, just really do us that favor and hit that subscribe, man, and let us get there. What up, Dustin?
Dustin in the house.
Dustin in the house holding it down in the chat. And Frank went fishing this weekend, of course, fishing Frank.
Fishing Frank.
Had a whole ton of fish, man, on his line. So he's handling all that tonight, or else he'd be on here with us. And I guess let's just do this final thing so we can just get to the grades here, which is what we're all for here tonight. We had a very special guest last Friday, which was awesome. Mr. Dave Kluge was in the Get Right stream, so that was awesome, man. Got in the mock with us, starting to pull these people here, man. And again, with your guys' support, man, keep hitting that subscribe button. When you're doing that, it's showing these guys that we're coming up. We have a good following here, and we're allowed to kind of opens us up to get some more of these high profile guests that I'm sure you guys want to hear and talk to and ask questions. So take advantage of it, man. Get on these live streams here with us. We're here on Monday and Friday nights. When we start during the week or during the season, it'll be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, most likely.
And Sunday too.
And then, of course, Mike holds it down on Sunday morning. So we want to do that. And we want to get these guests in here so you guys can ask these questions, and this is what we want to do for it, man. So, again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, man. Help us build up those subscribers. Once we get over 400, man, we're going to start giving out seats to the Sleers Listener League. Shout out to Mr. Lou Camp, or as I like to call him, Lou Champ, the reigning champ of the Listener League. So he'll be in. So there's only a few spots left. Once you consider all of us here on Get Right on there, the four of us, we got Lou Camp in there. So that only leaves, what is that, seven other spots available. So if you want to come play against us and come play against the champ, again, support the channel, help us get subscribers, interact with us here, ask questions. And we'll hopefully send you out an invite or a ticket for our drawing, and we'll get this drawing going and get this league going and drafted, man. So it should be a lot of fun.
I want to add one more thing to it. If you guys have anybody that you guys want to have on the show, or got any analyst, writer, anybody that you guys enjoy listening to, or to beyond ourselves, of course, but anyone that you guys read, or anyone that you just want to hear a little bit more from, let us know. DM me right here, or you can DM the channel. Whatever you want to do, I'll do my best to see if we can reach out and get these guys on here, like Dave and anybody else that we can try to get up on, in here, so that we can give you guys the best content possible. So yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that.
No, great add-on. Yeah. All right, man. And before we get into that too, we'll just hit it real quick. As you guys know, what also helps us out here, UnderdogFantasy.com. If you haven't already, make sure you get in there. Use that promo code GETRIGHT, and they'll match you 100% up to $100. So that's free money to get out there, get your picks, drafts in there today. I'm already probably in about 20 or so, or more easily. I have over 10 puppy entries already. They brought back the puppy 2 $5 entry, first place 75,000. So again, make sure you get in there, get those best ball drafts, going. And make sure you check out information how to build those rosters. It is a little different, but it is a lot of fun. So again, promo code GETRIGHT, UnderdogFantasy.com. Best Ball Mania 3 as well too. Become a millionaire. First and second place, man. Should be there.
Wilson, I'll try to get Matthew Berry, but there is no promise. And for all those who don't know, Matthew Berry just left ESPN. He will be there for the next week, and then moving on and doing his own thing and doing whatever he's got to do. Who knows where. Either way, a legend in this industry, starting it all up, came from doing it, on pen and paper, and, started getting into this, and, became a household name. Yeah. No.
Classic Barry. Love it. Love it.
So, I mean, honestly, good luck to you, Matt. You really paved the way for even people like us and anyone out there to, be able to do, talk about fantasy football or even be in this type of, market. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
All right, so I got us cut up on the chat here. So why don't you do your magic there, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Producer? Look at hands free for me. Make it happen. Bring the hey DJ, bring that screen up. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, man. So we're gonna get into this, man. We had a 12 team Superflex PPR redraft mock. Again with our special guest, Mr. Dave Kluge, who joined
Mhm.
us. He was drafting out of the 3 spot. We had a great panel of guests. Thank you guys all for who came in here, for coming in and getting this draft going. And oh, you're looking up some DeAndre Swift
No,
stuff there. I see, huh?
no, I was
Oh,
trying to bring up the whole thing instead.
oh, okay, okay. But yeah, so we'll get into this, man. So again, just want to thank everybody who was out there, and I'm sure everyone's anxious here to get our feedback. On these teams, how they broke down, how we got them ranked, and of course, giving our grades and our feedback. So let's do it.
Yeah.
And starting off in the 1 spot, we had our one and only Dem Boys DC for life. Drafting out of the 1 spot. He's already trying to position himself here. For the record, I did not like the 101 this year for
No, me
Superflex.
neither, man.
He said this draft was terrible for me. And let me see. I think I think I graded that accordingly. So we'll get into the breakdown here. So Dim Boys out of the 1 spot goes Josh Allen, pretty much census 101 in Superflex this year. Comes back around on the turn and elects to go Swift and Adams. And then rounds it out with Fields as his QB2. Then grabs his RB2 and Zeke, followed by Elijah Mitchell, and then a little bit of AJ Dillon to get his 4 RBs in there. Then his wide receiver 2 turns out to be London over there in Atlanta. Then goes Juju Smith-Schuster in the 9th, followed by Dawson Knox in the 10th. Then goes Kadarius Toney in the 11th, Tim Patrick in the 12th, Devontae Parker in the 13th, and a little Jalen Tolbert action down there in the 14th. Odd number of rounds. I thought you would have went one more bench spot and go 15 rounds. I kind of
Nah, I do. I always do 14. It's just easier to see on the
okay.
screen.
Oh, okay. Is that why? All right.
Yeah.
Because I was like, it felt like there should have been one more round. But either way, where you at on this team, Mike? Where you at?
So for me, I mean, I had this ranked as my 5th ranked team. I only rank 11 teams. I don't do myself. So for me, it's about a B plus. The running backs are fine. I mean, he's got 4. He's got probably some of the most solid ones, except for me. For me, Mitchell's kind of you know in between. I think the rest are completely fine. Elliott should be okay. Dylan and Swift, I'm good with. There's a few question mark, or I don't mind the receivers either. I really like Devontae Adams. Juju Smith-Schuster, Tony, Patrick, and Parker and Tolbert. I think those are awesome value picks for this particular set of receivers. The Dawson Knox pick isn't horrible. He's more of touchdown or bust. But overall, it's not a horrible build. I know he doesn't have 3 QBs. He's got Allen, he's got Fields. Those are relatively solid. I probably would have went with someone else instead of Fields, but I don't think there was much that he could really do at that point.
No.
There was a ton of
Then you're looking at
QBs.
Winston, Tannehill, Daniel
Yeah,
Jones, Mac
yeah.
Jones.
There were too many good QBs off the board. Like I was looking at from my oh no, I was all the way at the other end. I keep thinking my NY is me. But at that point, it's a really tough to get all the QBs you need. But that's fine. You don't have to use QB in Superflex. So I'm not going to knock his team just for the fact that he didn't have 3. So, like I
Coming
said,
around to it, huh? You're coming around
I'm
to it
I'm
here.
slowly, because I understand that. I actually had that problem last year where I had Josh Allen, Zach Wilson, and Daniel Jones, and Daniel Jones and Zach Wilson were out for most of the year because they both had injuries at different points in the season. And it was very hard to run all 3 of them, and trying to get that extra QB on the waiver wire was intense. So
Right.
I was at the point where I'm like, you know what, this actually makes sense. So like I said, it's not a horrible build. It's not my favorite build, but I do like the value he got with Tony, Patrick, Parker, Tolbert. Those are 3 guys that I'm really aiming for in those late rounds. So That's why I like this team.
There you go. I came in a little lower than you. I came in at a B.
Okay.
It was my 7th ranked team, so we're not too far off.
No.
Definitely felt as weak at wide receiver 2, 3. They are of course unknowns, but they could pay off. I do love the running back depth, but typically when that happens, that means you are going to suffer in that wide receiver area. But to me, it is always easy, in a redraft to trade to a wide receiver. Potentially, if you do have some running backs that are hitting, if you want to put those guys in those spots, or you just end up flexing them, instead. So, to me, I thought it was an okay construction. Again, like you said, no QB3, but to me, I'd rather have I'd rather have no QB3 and get a good piece in that spot rather than have a POS, QB3. So,
Yeah.
if you're telling me I could grab an extra, wide receiver that might hit, um, that I could potentially trade off or, have there in that flex spot, then, so be it. Um, you know, but it
Yeah.
is going to stay out of the A range because that. So that's where I'm at. So we can move on.
Yeah.
Go ahead and break down the second team here. So not bad, them boys. But we've seen you do better.
Yeah.
And that 101 is a little bit of a pain. I don't like it too
Oh, I
much.
really don't. I'm in the 2 in Scotty Fish, and it's tough. Even with the reversal, it makes it even harder.
Yeah.
We got Ray W in the house. Never get into 12 team Superflex too thin. I
Oh, that's the
do
best part about
not
it.
blame you. It is tough,
The
but
best part
I
about it.
don't care. I like it. I'm starting to slowly ease into that Superflex.
There you go.
But it is what it is.
I
So
don't know,
next we
man. As
got
soon as you start getting your first super flex league, you're not gonna
eh,
be able to be
oh
called
we
classic
we did it
anymore.
with the
Oh
listener
yeah,
league.
you were in this listener league last year,
And it
but
was fun. I had a good
yeah,
time. I had a good draft. I thought I did pretty well with the team that I got. I did, okay throughout the season. Other people did better.
there it
Um,
is.
it is what it is.
You started off
So
hot. You just kind
yeah,
of
I
cooled
started
off
off
there.
really hot
Yeah.
and then I just
You're like in
cooled.
first place after week 4 and then just
Yeah. Oh, it
phew.
was the Daniel Jones, Zach, Wilson when they got hurt. It killed me. And then I had a hard time putting people in certain
That's why we
spots.
say get those 2 top 12 quarterbacks in the first 4 rounds,
Yeah.
man. If you can, go get them
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
Again, if them boys instead of going Devontae Adams there, if he goes, Derek Carr, Cousins,
Yeah. Or
even
Lance.
Lance,
Yeah. Lance
I'm
and
liking that
Cousins.
team
Yeah.
a lot better. I mean Lance and Fields, they're not too far off. I probably almost maybe rather have Fields. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we
I'm
were
just
talking with Dave on Friday, and
no,
he
Lance has
thinks
better
that
weapons for sure.
yeah, Lance has better weapons. He has a better Lance has a better line. I prefer
Shout
Lance a
out
little
to
more.
shout out to Trent, 99 all
Oh,
Madden.
love
Let's
Trent
go.
Williams. Yeah,
Let's go. All right. Anyway, moving on.
yeah,
So let's go to the 2 spot, man. Break down your brother's team. Got Jay Birdie 53 in the
yeah,
house. Classics
yeah,
brother there. So break down.
yeah. Going over Jay's team, he's got Justin Herbert in the 2. Then he goes with Tua Tagovailoa. Got it right. Yeah.
There you go. That
At the 411. Sorry. Big time for me. I'd never get
was
last
really
names like
good. You
that good.
nailed
Right.
that, man. You nailed
Right.
that.
Then we got Carson Wentz in the 11th, which is, not a bad QB group. Then you got Dalvin Cook with Joe Mixon in the 2nd and the 3rd. Then goes Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the 9th and Cordero Patterson in the 13th, which I'm a little surprised about that he dropped that far, but not surprised at the same time. Keenan Allen in the 5th with Hollywood Brown and Jerry Jeudy in the 7th, Chase Claypool in the 10th, and Jameis Williams in the 12th. Then he goes with Hawk in the 8th and Noah Fant in the 14th round at the very end. His Mr. Irrelevant. So what did you feel about this team?
So for this team here, it was one of my favorite teams. It was definitely towards the top tier here. Just basically when you look at it, it's kind of what we preached, back
Yeah.
from last year. You're grabbing some combination of 2 quarterbacks and 2 running backs in the first 4 rounds. However, you can get that done depending on your draft spot. And then hammer out those 3 wide receivers right after that, because then you're going to get that value while everyone else is picking for quarterbacks and running backs. Then at this point, you have that option to either slam another, wide receiver or 2 there, depending on how you want to run your team. I'm starting to become a fan of little hero or double hero RB builds, especially just with how few workhorse type running backs there are. So if you
Yeah.
can just get two of those top guys and then just kind of get guys that are kind of lotto tickets, or ideally it'd be nice to just kind of have your RB3 as a starting running back somewhere, even if he's not, on a top producing offense, someone like a CEH, or just get one of these high value, handcuffs like a, Hunt, you know, someone like that
Mhm.
down there. Um, and to me, it's just the best way to build it. Grab that QB3 around, around 9, 10, or 11, just depending on, how strong your two quarterbacks are. Like if you use your first two picks on quarterbacks, then maybe you can wait until about the 11th, or maybe you just don't even have to roll with a third quarterback because those top two guys are so you've invested so much into them that QB3 doesn't really matter. It's so much where that QB2 can kind of be interchangeable, maybe based on matchup. That's when you having that QB3. If you wait a little later to grab that second, quarterback, is when you want to kind of really have that third quarterback. So to me, Jay, you came around as my number 3 ranked team.
Nice.
Was really hard with my top 3 that I had. So I just had to, kind of nitpick a little bit, and you'll see when I have my number 2, number 1 teams. But either way, it's still a top 3 team for me. And I think I gave it a B plus.
Yeah. No, I gave him a, it's hard grading your brothers, but at the same time, I'm very
Yeah, and I love
objective
that
with
Herbert
him.
Allen stack, by the way, too.
No.
Just
Oh, love that. Love it. Honestly, it's one of my favorite stacks to get if you can get it, especially for that that 2 spot. If you can get it, get it. I got him at a B. This is about my my sixth ranked team.
ooh,
I love the first 7 picks. Love it. Love who we got. Completely okay with it. After that, I hate it.
and
I
that's kind of what
understand.
made it my third.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing that threw it off for me. I don't like the Williams pick. I've
Oh,
been
I love that
listening.
pick.
See, I've been listening a lot more to the docs that come on to these shows and talk about his injury and stuff. He injured it in January, and he didn't get surgery until like beginning of March. It's a 9 to 10 month window for him to even start back into football activity. That means he ain't coming back until around November. And November at the end of November, which is even like a maybe at this point. So he's probably not coming back until December. I'm not comfortable. I mean, yeah, he's your last wide receiver. He's wide receiver 5. You want to put him on the IR, that's fine. But at the end of the day, I just don't want to waste that pick. I'd rather have Tim Patrick. I'd rather have Devontae Parker. I'd rather have DJ Chark, Galladay, Like, I'd rather have any one of those guys instead of a guy that I know that's not going to be playing until, week 10. So for me,
Mhm.
that's what threw me off. The Patterson pick's fine. Patterson was a lot more valuable with his combo status when he was a running back / wide receiver. So now that he's just a solid running back, I don't care for him anymore. So I can understand why he's falling. I'm not a big Hawk fan. I'm not sold on him yet. I understand the value, but not there yet. But he's definitely the best that he could have gone with. I like Gesicki a little bit more, or Clement, one of those two guys. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire is not a bad, wide or running back 3 / flex guy. So overall, it was okay. It just wasn't like my favorite. So, but he's not a big super flex guy. Like my brother doesn't play in a lot of those leagues. So for him to do a build like this is actually pretty good. So I'm giving him a lot of credit for this. Um,
I
so
liked it.
yeah, I thought overall I liked it. I can't get on board with it being, one of my top teams.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll move on to
Yeah.
the man of
The man of
Friday
the
night,
hour.
that hour there. Again, big thanks to Dave Kluge for coming on with us there. It was a lot of fun. I was listening to every minute of it. Great show that you guys did there. Classic. Um,
Thank you. Sorry,
Kluge,
I'm
not
just
Kluge.
I'm leaving Dustin's up there.
Yeah,
You
no,
didn't
that was
have to
good.
read
No, I
it.
wanted to see when you popped it up. I was like, oh, what went on? Yeah, no, it's funny when you want to make sure you get those pronunciations right.
You're talking to the
Um,
king of that,
exactly. So yeah, no, that's why I was proud of you with the to a T. That was pretty good.
right?
So here we go, man. We'll break it down. So he goes Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers with his first 2 picks
Mm-hmm.
in a super flex. His QB3 grabs in the 10th was his Deshaun Watson, which I was kind of shocked at, but
Well,
I did
he
hear his explanation of it.
and it's a
Um,
valid argument, to be fair.
oh yeah,
Everyone, it
trade bait.
keeps, well, not even trade bait. It's the concept that he 6 to, if he's come
Well,
back,
they're
if he
back
comes,
down to that now.
it's going to be 6 to 8. And if it's even 6 to 8, that's what, 7 weeks that you get Deshaun Watson is maybe better than guys that are below
Yeah. So we're just riding that Watson, curve because last week we were back on the D for
him. Yeah,
Deshaun
I'm not.
thing,
No.
the indefinite suspension. So of course it's going to be TBD. It's a mock draft.
Yeah.
Right now in the beginning of July.
As of
Obviously,
right
we're
now,
going to
he's
know
playing.
more.
Like,
Yeah. So
that's how I view it.
but again, it could change next week again, and
Oh
then
yeah,
change
for
again
sure.
after that.
It
So
from
we'll follow it.
the news from that, the NFLPA and the NFL have to submit their briefings today. Or sorry, well, yeah, still today. They had to do it today, and then they're just waiting for Sue Robinson's for her, whole recommendation. And then they'll go from there. And overall, we'll have to wait and see how it goes. I think they'll probably negotiate it down to a 6 to 8 or something in there. Unfortunately, I think people are going to be upset about it, and then they're going to just blow it off and not care anymore. But it could leave a black eye. We don't know yet. So
We'll see.
yeah,
Either
sorry.
way, I still had to grade it accordingly.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Of course. Um, but yeah, so again, he grabs Deshaun down there in the 10th. Then he goes with his running backs, Aaron Jones and Brees Hall in the 3rd and 4th.
Mm-hmm.
Grabs his RB3 and Isaiah Spiller down in the 12th, and his last pick with Kenny Gainwell in the 14th. His wide receivers, he hammers out, right after that, again, that same structure we're just talking about.
Yep.
Goes with Pittman, Sutton, Robinson, Devonta Smith, and some Brandon Ayuk. So, again, just textbook, get right fashion, as we always kind of say. Um, there's some kind of finagling you can do, just again, depending on your draft spot. Once you get those 3, you can just continue on, or grab that RB3 there, again, just depending on your preference of playing. And then he goes with his tight ends, Cole Kmet and Mike Gesicki. As you guys know, I've been beating the Kmet drum since last year. Even had a gentleman's bet on it, which I think I lost to Gerald Everett when he was up in Seattle. But either way, still my guy. I'd rather be a year early than a year late.
Okay.
So there's Kmet, and then my guy Irv Smith goes right after him. So those are my 2 tight ends I loved last year, and they're kind of building that hype up again this year. But either way, so that's his team as we broke it down there. For me, it came in as my number 4 team, again, mainly because of the Watson pick. Um, you know, obviously, you could do a lot of stuff with that, some trade bait. And like we said, when you're that solid up top, when you invest your first 2 picks in quarterback, you know, pretty much anyone if you lose your first or second round pick, it doesn't matter who it is or when it happens, it's going to be a hole in your team.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't completely prepare for everything, and it's definitely a great, trade bait piece, to have. So again, it's worth the investment, just like someone getting Thomas, someone, getting Godwin, someone getting Gallup. It's all there because you're, weighing out the risk versus reward. So everyone eventually has their price for those guys. So again, came out as a B for me, my number 4 ranked team, right after Jay Birdie there, in the 4th spot. I kind of like this spot in Superflex this year. And so that's where I'm at. Where are you at?
Yeah, I'm at the same spot. This is about my 4th team that I'd take.
Oh wow, we're both 4, huh?
Yeah, I gave it a B plus. For me, I love the wide receivers alone. I mean, honestly, for my particular spot, I should have went Sutton over Waddle. And that was just a bad mistake on my part. Hosting and drafting are very tough things to do, and sometimes you don't always see who you want. But at the end of the day, I love Pittman, Sutton, Robinson. Like all those guys are, big
I
name
was
guys that I'm
surprised you
looking for.
passed on Sutton, actually.
No, and that was my point. Like I
Yeah.
have Sutton everywhere, and he's just someone that I want on my team.
Yeah, you took
And
Waddle over Sutton.
yeah,
I couldn't
and
believe that.
yeah, well, I
Technically,
haven't
his
taken
ADP is
Waddle.
higher, but I'm low on
I haven't taken
Waddle.
Waddle anywhere, and so it's one of those things where I'm trying to mix it up a little bit at the same time. But at the same time, Dave did a great job with his build up top. He's got Lamar with Rodgers. As much as I don't like Lamar as a quarterback in real football, fantasy, his floor is low, is higher than most, just because of the rushing. Rodgers is a solid pick. So, one thing that you'll learn with Superflex or one QB, as long as you have that one guy with a good, good rushing value, good rushing floor, have another guy with a safe, steady, passing and, touchdowns and all that. As long as you have those two guys, you should be fine. The Watson pick, like I said, I'm not knocking that pick at all. I think it's a good pick. It's a solid pick. And as he defended, it's one of those things where you get 7 weeks at least. Let's just say maybe you at least get a better production out of him than you do for anybody else. So I can't knock him on that. The only thing that I can knock is the running backs. They're the only one that can actually maybe pull it. The Spiller pick is a handcuff to to Eckler, in my opinion. I don't think he has standalone value. I think Gainwell, if anything, has some standalone value, but that was how he was used last year. Otherwise, he could take over that spot. I keep listening to a lot of reporters from Philly that keep saying that Sanders is good and all, but Gainwell could probably take over that role without a problem. And there, it's a lot of competition basically for that run.
Gainwell's too small.
I know he's small, but he's still a good pass catcher. We'll see. Either way, it's not a horrible pick for your last pick. Aaron Jones and Hall, I do like. I'm a huge fan of Jones. I like Hall. So I can't really knock this team too much. The tight ends, I understand the value with Kmet. I don't like Kmet that much. I understand why people like him. But I like Gesicki more. So for me, it's fine if you have one of the two. So I couldn't hate this team too much.
There you go.
Yeah.
And just again, when drafting anybody that's facing a suspension, Alvin Kamara,
Oh, that too. Yeah.
Deshaun Watson, these kind of guys. Again, if Deshaun Watson gets 8 games, let's say, also has a bye week, in week 13.
Yeah.
Same thing I think with Chris Godwin and
Yep.
Mike Thomas both have late bye weeks.
And
so
I think Gallup has the same problem
Same
too.
way?
I think it's
so
week
again, you're
10.
getting one extra game, let alone if you're talking about, okay, it takes a week or two for them to knock the rust off after not playing for 2 months when everybody else is in mid-season form. And then, so you're talking maybe you get them for 3 games and then it's playoff time. So are you truly going to be ready to start somebody like that and put your fantasy aspirations on the line after only seeing a 3-game sample size? So again, these are some of the things you need to keep in mind when you are taking the chances on, these Godwins, Kamara's, so on and so forth. So just keep keep that in mind, when you're doing that, when those guys have the bye week, because you might be missing an extra week in there as well too. D Hop and all that kind of. Oh, D Hopkins is the other one that has the later bye.
Yeah.
So just again, keep that in mind. All right, so we'll move on. Sorry for taking so long on that there. But I think this is the time where we got to tell these people these things when they're getting in these drafts. So things to pay attention to.
It's draft season.
That means guys like Gage, Ingram, they're getting all this value, late.
And there's good reason for it. Like that's why they're getting that value.
Yeah. So they're going to start shooting up. So if you can get shares of them now early, take advantage of that that potential. All right, so we'll move on here to Flag Dog, drafting out of the 4th spot. You want to break this one down?
Yeah, sure. So he goes with Tom Brady in the 2nd and Trevor Lawrence in the 4th, and then grabs Jimmy Garoppolo in the 13th. I like that pick. Lots of news on Jimmy the last few days of possibly going to the Bucs, but then the Bucs said no, and then word came out that he might go to Seattle. Who knows? We'll see. Right now, I don't think he's going anywhere for the time being, but it looks like they're trying to shop him in one way or another. Next, he goes Christian McCaffrey in the 1st round with Leonard Fournette in the 3rd, Travis Etienne in the 5th, and then he goes DJ Moore, Brandon Cooks, Chris Godwin, Elijah Moore, Christian Kirk, MVS, and then Joshua Palmer at the very end, and then Irv Smith in that 11th round. So how do you feel about this team?
Yeah, so my man Flag Dog, appreciate you coming out, man.
As always.
I had to give you a B-, and I'll start there just because the grade kind of sounds a little better than the actual rank for me. I think he went off to had a good start.
Yeah.
to this draft. He kind of followed that two quarterback, two running back in the first 4 rounds, combination. And I love that McCaffrey Fournette
Yep.
stack. Not necessarily a stack, but just having those guys as your top two running backs.
Oh yeah.
Love the fact that ETN is RB3. But to me, it kind of hurt him. But and the reason it hurt is because if you're gonna take ETN there, you can't take Godwin here, and that's the problem. If you grab that RB3, you can't also grab another wide receiver that we're just talking about that is going to be out,
Yep.
and then has a week 9 bye week. So you're really only getting them for a couple games, and more so on a receiver versus Deshaun Watson coming back. He's not coming off an injury. So Godwin, it is going to take him a couple games. So again, there is a time. And if you do go wide receiver early, like let's say, you grab Chase and Pittman or like Chase and, Devontae Adams or Keenan Allen. Like if you have two top guys, then you can definitely go and take that risk on a Godwin and wait for him to come back potentially for playoffs and just basically be a league winner for you. But if you take it in this kind of spot with this build, it's a little tough because then, you may not actually even make it to the playoffs because you have that, kind of big hole in that spot and those guys may not be able to fill it as ETN potentially is, holding, on your bench. And then of course doesn't even grab, a fourth, running back on this team as well too. So to me, because of that, I had to again, it was a B minus just because I like the players and stuff on there. But overall it was my 9th ranked team.
Yeah, I wasn't as nice, and I'm sorry, Flag. I always love having you here, honestly. So don't run away because I gave you this grade. I unfortunately you're my last place team, my 11th grouping or 11th team that I would take. So I gave it a C minus. You know, uh, I have to respect what Dave said during the show on Friday. We asked him his thoughts, and we asked a little early. We asked around the ETN pick, and for him, this was the best team that he had. And honestly, I
Yeah, at the
agree.
time.
From the first
Yeah.
5 picks, this team was fire to me. But then you got no depth for your running backs at all. And the DJ Moore pick is fine. The Brandon Cooks pick, I'm fine. Those guys I like right there. Elijah Moore, Kirk. I'll even be
Not
okay.
on this build though.
No, but not for this type of system. The Godwin pick definitely hurt you here. Irv Smith, Garoppolo, fine. Palmer's fine. But at the end of the day, you kind of messed up your whole thing with ETN where you got him. You were better off maybe grabbing a Clyde Edwards-Helaire there or a Hunt or a Singletary, Gordon. You could have grabbed someone in the 8th at that spot for a running back to at least give you a little more depth at your running backs. And even if you grab some other, Joe Schmo at the very end to get at least give you something, because otherwise you're running with 3 running backs. Now, as much as everyone wants to say that Christian McCaffrey is going to do okay this year, he's still an injury risk. It's how it is. Fournette, I understand he's played more, in the last 2 years, he's actually played a good amount of games. Doesn't mean that he can't get hurt, and it doesn't mean that he hasn't had those seasons in the past. ETN is coming off of a incredibly hard injury to come back from as a running back. I'm getting a little bit warmer on him to draft him. You have him as your, running back 3, so I'm not knocking that. But at the same time, you have three very I can't use injury prone because that's not the word, but you have 3 very risky running backs at that point, and it makes it very difficult when you have no depth behind it to then replace if need be. So that's part of why I didn't like it. The only good part about this is Irv Smith, in my opinion. Irv Smith was a great grab right there. I think he's a top guy for, top guy, top tight end if you want to punt the tight end position.
Yeah, he's one of those greater late tight ends. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there it
But
is.
that's all I can say about it. Otherwise, like I said, I'm a big fan of Cooks more. Both Moores, Elijah and DJ. I like Christian Kirk. I don't mind the wide receivers. It's just that build up top. It looks good on paper, but if you really dig into it, it's a little rough.
Yeah. Like you said, I'd much rather see somebody else at that spot than even like Thielen instead of Elijah Moore. To me, if you are going to go Godwin, then that maybe Thielen can kind of hold you out until Godwin gets back. I think Thielen's fine by himself, but anyway, it's all good.
And I
So
agree with you, Rafi. Same thing. Unless Seattle trades him for Jimmy G, he'll remain in San Francisco until the first big QB injury of the season. I agree. I think he's going to be staying there. I think he's going to start day one. If they can't find a team that is willing to take him, and I think they don't. I really think they don't trust Lance yet.
yeah,
It's a gut feeling.
there it is.
Yeah.
All right, man, we're at that 40-minute mark.
Yeah,
We'll try to make up some good time. But you could tell, man, things are starting to get serious. We're starting to really break these
we're
things
going to
down.
deep down.
We're diving deep. Real drafts are starting to approach us. We're starting to put money down, money coming out of the pocket. So, we're starting to tighten up the screws. We're really rolling those sleeves up and, trying to give you guys here our feedback, especially when it comes to these constructions. And again, we're not here hating on the teams or anything. Like, obviously, we know it's a mock and people are just, trying different strategies, seeing what works. But that's why we're going to be, kind of harsh with the critiques, and put those rankings in there and give our, feedback. Because a lot of time we're nitpicking, between a couple spots here. There's only 12, 12, teams we can rank. And so one has to be 1 and one has to be 12. So, we're finding the littlest things to be able to have the, separation and divide these guys up. So, let's see how it goes. All right. So, we'll try to get through this thing here a little better. We got Mr. Rick Avery, Ravery 1, here in the 5th spot. Shout out to Rick, big on Twitter with us, hopped into a Underdog best ball draft with us. So I'm in there with one of his, trying to take his hard-earned money.
Yeah,
and he's trying to take mine.
Yeah, we met him through the Whispers.
Yeah,
Good old fantasy Whispers.
Yeah, well, no,
Love those guys.
I brought him in. He's an OG.
Oh, you brought him?
He
Oh,
responded
okay.
to our post and we filled their mock. We
Oh,
filled
okay.
their not mock. We filled their Underdog.
Okay,
So we
that's what it
represented
was.
almost, what is that, 25% of that draft
At
was
least.
us.
Yeah, it was 3 of
And
us.
get right.
Yeah.
So anyway, shout out. So here we go. We got the 5th spot. He goes Mahomes after McCaffrey gets taken after the first 3 quarterbacks come off the board. I'm just going to go in order on this one. Then he goes Travis Kelce, then CD Lamb in the 3rd, followed by Cam Akers in the 4th. Then goes Jameis Winston in the 5th, followed by Miles Sanders as his RB2 in the 6th. Then grabs DK Metcalf down here in the 7th as his wide receiver 2. Then grabs Damian Harris as his RB3, followed by Adam Thielen as his wide receiver 3. Russell Gage as his wide receiver 4. A little Alexander Madison action in the 11th as his RB4. Then goes Jarvis Landry as his wide receiver 5 down here in the 12th. Then grabs his second tight end in Evan Ingram in the 13th, and then grabs his QB3 and Drew Lock, little dart throw down there in the 14th. So overall, what are you thinking about this team?
So for this team, I gave it my number 2. Yeah, I gave it a B plus. I didn't want to go too high, honestly. It's not my ultimately favorite team. But I'd love
It's right there. There's only one
it
more team you
is.
like
No, I
better.
agree, but I like the build. I like what he did. I like the some of the players that he has. Mahomes, Kelsey stack. I mean, it's probably one of the best out there. Safe wide receivers that, for the most part, they all have volume, upside for them. Um, you know, the 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 running backs are okay. Akers, I know, the knock on him. Sanders going to be a part of a really good run offense, rush offense. Harris, I like. He's solid, in my opinion. Alexander Madison is not a bad option. He's a good pass catcher and a good passing offense that they're going to have this year. Love Ingram. Landry, I think, is a very, very sneaky pick. I think Landry is slept on in a lot of ways because everyone keeps forgetting that he's there, for one thing. But I also like the stack with Winston. Jameis isn't the best in the world, but he'll be, a very serviceable quarterback. I don't care about the Drew Lock pick. If he's there or not, whatever, you can change him out. So overall, I like the team. I really didn't have much anything bad to say about it. Just fit what I like. So
there you go.
yeah,
And I guess you could say I was right there with you. For me,
yeah,
it was real hard to decide between my number 1 and number 2 ranked team. And Rick here came in as my number 1 ranked team.
yeah,
If I came in, and it's weird because when you look at the construction of it, this is not how I would normally draft the team.
yeah,
Um, but the pieces he put together here are all pieces that I like. I could see, what he was kind of seeing here. I mean, I could probably do without those last two picks. I might have done some, a little something different there. But basically, the core of this team is something that I could, really get, behind. Obviously, I'd like a little stronger QB2 than Winston, but I think he makes up for it by having that Mahomes Kelsey stack,
yeah,
and then having that Winston Landry stack. I think makes up for that there. And again, just these guys are, again, they're not totally sexy names. I mean, maybe Lamb, Kelsey, Mahomes, are the three sexy names here.
yeah,
But there's so much potential with these other guys. Again, with what we know now, give me this team, and I feel like I could do some things with it.
yeah. As the fantasy whisperers tell me, it's like vanilla. It's like a vanilla team, vanilla receivers. But I like vanilla. It's always a good go-to.
Yeah,
You
they're
know?
just those roll your sleeves up,
Oh yeah,
hardworking, kind
yeah.
of blue collar, as
Blue
you call
collar.
it,
Yeah,
which is a blue collar team.
yeah,
Nothing too flashy. You got those pieces, like I said, but other than that, again, there's question marks and downside with everybody on here. But if they kind of just do what close to what they normally do, this could be a very dangerous team.
yeah, for sure.
So there we go. Good job, Rick. You got my number 1 spot, buddy. All right, so we'll move on. Brandon. Brandon came in here in the draft with us, pulled the number 6 spot here, right in the middle.
Hmm.
Let's see what he did. Go ahead, break it down.
Yeah, so he grabbed Murray and Prescott as his first two picks. Then he goes with his first running back in the 5th round, going with David Montgomery, then going with Rashad Penny in the 8th, Tony Pollard in the 9th, and then grabbing Naeem Hines in the 12th with Khalil Herbert in the 14th. Then he grabbed T. Higgins in the 4th with Terry McLaurin in the 6th, Amaz St. Brown in the 7th. Then goes Tyler Lockett in the 10th with Garrett Wilson in the 11th. And is this Josh? No, it's not Josh Doxson. It's
Johan.
Johan Doxson. There we go. With Mark Andrews at the very beginning in the 3rd. So for me, this team, I like bits and pieces of this team, but I couldn't give this this was a hard one to grade for me. With everything else there, I gave it my 10th spot.
Ooh,
C
second to
plus.
last, huh?
Yeah. See, I'm not going to knock his team for the 2 QBs. I can't do that. Like I've said, you can fill that spot.
We're
I
not
lo-
feeling it, but your 2 top guys are elite. You have that
yeah.
positional advantage.
Yeah, I agree. So for me, the wide receivers are okay. I like Higgins. I like McLaurin. I think he got Terry at a really discounted rate. For the most part. For me, where it falls off is the running backs. I'm not a big fan of Rashad Penny in any shape, way, or form. I understand he will probably most likely be the number 1 running back for Seattle. His injury history scares the living crap out of me. And I understand, and I know what you're gonna say, but there are other running backs that have came in that have been hurt for the first 2-3 years of their life, less tread on tire, blah, 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 blah. Doesn't mean anything to me. It just shows a history of injury that just doesn't help. I understand the end of his season was spectacular, but it just doesn't it
Yeah. Well, and if we all thought he was who he was over that 6-game span, the RB1 overall, he wouldn't be going in the, you know,
yeah,
6th round. I mean,
no.
that's why. So to me, that injury risk is baked in. To me,
Yeah.
these are the type of league winning guys, though. I mean, when you're
Mm,
down here in that, round 7, 8, 9, when you look at it, pretty much when a team is on fire that year, or someone who catches fire, it's because one of their picks, somewhere in that 6th, 7th, 8th round, um, they catch fire with, Debo
yeah.
Samuel, guys like that, Jamar Chase. These are guys that for me, literally single handedly with Jamar Chase getting him in the 7th last year, won me my league,
No,
against
understood.
Dustin, won me my belt. So, to me, those are guys you take a risk on. When I'm going hero RB, to me, Penny is like one of those guys that I have a lot of shares in best ball. When I do that hero RB or even zero RB strategy, because you can kind of get him down there late.
But that's where I like him. I like him more in best ball than I do in redraft.
Oh yeah,
Redraft,
absolutely.
and that's where my disconnect is for this type of build. I don't mind Penny, but I would have preferred Damian
Oh yeah,
Harris
he's
because
much
he's a
better as your
little.
RB3.
Yeah, I'd rather have him later. I'd rather have a guy like Harris or Clyde Edwards, or after that with Pollard. Pollard's not a horrible pick, and yes, he's kind of carved himself a little piece of the offense. I'd rather have a guy like Singletary or Gordon that has a lot more of a cut compared to Pollard, who's really going to be seeing only 30% of anything during a game. I think Elliott will carry the main load for for this team. I don't care how good Pollard looked last year. He looked phenomenal. It was because Zeke looked like crap because he was hurt and playing through it. Jerry Jones pays the guy, he's paying him money for a reason. Like, he's there. So I would have liked that a little better. I don't, Hines I like, Herbert I like. Those are two good, handcuffs to have.
He's
The
handcuffing his own with Montgomery.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So, at the end of the day, Tyler Lockett, Garrett Wilson, Dotson.
I don't like that he has Penny and Lockett. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
all
it's
about kind of
it's
getting
so
some
hard to
pieces
do
of
that though.
offenses, but
Yeah.
don't get pieces of bad offenses. Like,
Well, no,
I mean,
if you're
don't
gonna get
buy
the
into all
passing,
of them. Yeah,
no,
get into the
I'm good with
passing.
the
That's why I
bad.
like Metcalf. Yeah, because it's a
Yeah,
bad team. They're going to be behind. They're going to
yeah,
throw. He's going to get peppered with targets. You're getting incredible value on Metcalf.
yeah.
I love
Well,
having
and
him.
Lockett always tends to be in that top 20 every year. So I understand the pick. I'm not on board with Drew Lock at all. So, and especially if it's Drew or Gino, I don't care who it is.
Or Jimmy.
Or, well, no, I'd be more on board with Jimmy. Jimmy, if
Ah,
I'm telling you right now, if Jimmy goes to Seattle, if he goes to Seattle,
oh, there goes your
they
Metcalf value.
they just, oh yeah, skyrocket, guarantee it. He's a
There it
better
is.
quarterback
Well,
than all
compared to
of them.
where you get it now, I mean, we're talking maybe one or two spots he moves up.
No,
I
he's
mean,
moving up a full round, if not two.
well, that's what I meant. Like,
Yeah,
So anyway, there it is.
yeah,
Good stuff. As far as me, you said it was your number 10
yep.
is C plus. I came in as the number 6 team. I gave it a B, just because again, a lot of the stuff we talked about, I'm not gonna beat a dead horse in there. But like I said, I just think it's it's just kind of right in there.
Mediocre.
A lot of stuff I could do with it. I feel like I like some other teams more, but there's definitely teams I like less. So it's a
Okay.
perfect 6th ranked team for me. So there it is.
Mike Ortiz, I know you're asking real quick. You guys are doing any more mocks tonight? No, we don't do the mocks on Monday. We do them on Friday. So if need be, if you want to be able to get into one, just reach out right here. You can just DM me real quick if you want. DM me on Sleeper if you want as well. It's the same hashtag. You'll find
Same
it.
with me.
Yeah. So
Get in there and hit
just
that
ask.
subscribe button, Mike.
Yeah, for
Look us up.
sure.
Hit that subscribe button. We're getting close to 400. You hit that subscribe button for us, man, and we'll get you in the mock this Friday. We mock every Friday at
Roughly anywhere between 10 and
7, 8,
12.
9, depending on
Yeah.
what guests we have for that week.
Yeah.
And that specific time, and whatever time that is on East Coast, it's a little bit later.
10 to 12 on the East
10,
Coast
11,
there.
12. It's late for you guys over there, but that's what we do, man. We get right. We get our mocks in, and we come back and grade them here and talk about them on Monday. Dedicate a whole show to the breakdown. So appreciate you, and let's do it. Oh, Tycoon, see another one of the AKA different. Go sign into that other profile, man. We need to see that. We need to see that fantasy boardroom profile. Get that plug in there. For the guys, you guys who don't know, Tycoon here, who we're getting to his team here shortly. Go check him out, Fantasy Boardroom. Go subscribe to his channel as well once you get done to subscribing to ours. So welcome, Tycoon. Great to have you in here, man. And Mike, make sure you hit us with those DMs.
Yes, sir.
This Friday's mock, Friday night mocks.
I got you.
All right, so here we go. Where are we at? The Gotch.
Yeah.
The Gotch. The Gotch is in the house. What's up, Gotch? My guy over here, our veteran, gave up my spot for the Gotch here to get in this draft, man. He's over in the Middle East right now as a veteran, or I guess not veteran because you have to be done. He's actually serving. He's active right now.
Yep.
Active duty. Was giving up his Friday. When you're out there serving, he could do anything. I mean, maybe not anything because you're kind of limited.
Most.
I would assume, but he could have spent that time calling someone at home, doing something like that. But he spent that hour with us. So I appreciate you for coming out. And you guys know when I start buttering people up like that, it's because I got to tear them down on the other side. But it was Gotch's first mock of the year. He's not a big Superflex guy either, I don't think, as what he told me. So he's kind of just getting into it. But either way, am I breaking this one down? I'll go with it. I'll just go with
for it.
So he goes Joe Burrow here at the 1, or with his first round pick at the 7. What are we at? 7 spot.
Yep.
Then he goes Derrick Henry in the 2nd, Trey Lance in the 3rd. Gets that stack with Debo in the 4th. Goes Kyle Pitts in the 5th. Deontay Johnson in the 6th. Little Mac Jones in the 7th. Goes Mike Thomas in the 8th. Kareem Hunt in the 9th. James Cook in the 10th. Tyler Boyd in the 11th. Christian Watson in the 12th. DJ Chark, nice pick, in the 13th.
I love DJ Chark.
And Davis Price here in the, what is that, 14th? Weird rounds. Like you want to say 15th in the last one. In the 14th. So overall, man, I gave it a C minus. To me, it was my 11th ranked team. To me, it just went a little high with Pitts, as you know. I'm sure we both have the same.
No, we both feel that way.
Same thing there. I don't mind the 2, grabbing that running back, grabbing that receiver in those first 4 picks. I think that's nice. But I think you need to come down with another running back or wide receiver there instead of Pitts.
Tycoon disagrees
I think you
with
can get kind of better value. I know he is, man. He always is going to disagree. But to me, unless I'm getting Kelsey or Andrews, I mean, I just have to see it, man. And you guys know that. I was totally against, Cooks last year, as you guys know. But he came out and he proved it, man. He proved he could stay healthy. He proved he could put up numbers with not a great quarterback by getting those targets and getting that volume.
Who, Dumb?
So I'm on him this year. No. Brandon
Cooks. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Brandon Cooks. So that's why I'm getting a lot of shares of him this year, So I just got to see it, man. I got to see it before I'm going to invest that much draft capital. Again, he could be the next Kelsey. And again, if you're getting Kelsey production, that you would take here in the 2nd and you're getting that in the 5th, then I agree with you 100%. I'll come on here and tell you I stand corrected.
Yeah.
But until then, until I see it, I'm kind of like, this whole, great or late, terminology that's being thrown around now, but that's just, what I've been preaching basically forever. So I will take a Kelsey or an Andrews early, in the 2nd, but other than that, I'm waiting to grab there's too many guys that are just all kind of the same that you can kind of just stream down to tight end this year. Your Everett's, Hurts, Hoopers, those are all guys I love just super late in the draft. Anyway, so goes that there. To me, just again feels like he's just kind of behind a pick, and because of that, just came in at number 11 for me overall. Again, I'm not that big of a Lance Debo fan either, as you know. Just kind of having that stack. I mean, I know it has that potential there. I just think Debo is gonna regress. And again, Deontay's not attached to a great quarterback or situation. The line's terrible there. Mike Thomas might not even start off the year, and then so really his wide receiver 3, kind of his first flex is a wide receiver 3 on his own team, and then a rookie, and then DJ Chark, who's on one of the worst offenses at least last year. It's better this year, you know what I'm saying, but it's still Jared Goff.
Well, Jared Goff went to a Super Bowl. Let's be clear.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, we all know.
No, he's a solid quarterback.
I mean, he's all right.
Solid quarterback.
He's all right.
All right.
Look at his numbers last year. I had him last year. He's all right in fantasy. In real life, all right, he's okay. He's a good game manager.
Yeah.
But in real life,
no, in fantasy, I don't care. For that, for DJ Chark, for that, I don't care about him being a fantasy quarterback. I care
don't
about
get me wrong, I love the DJ
Chark
pick. I have tons of shares there. So
me
anyway,
too.
Either way, it's all good. I want to go here. Shout out to Mike. I don't know if you got to this already. While I was talking.
I already did that.
But he said he's already subscribed. So shout out, appreciate that. He's gonna have to get into the next mock. He's from the with the 420 Hustler.
Yep.
So what's up, Mike? So welcome over, part of the Hustler crew over there, the 420 crew. welcome to Get Right. And yeah, just make sure you hit us on that DM, and we'll for sure
We'll
get you
definitely
in the
get you
next
in.
mock, man.
I think we're doing one QB next week,
Oh, there we go.
unless we have something crazy that comes up. We usually like to alternate weeks. So
There it is.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So for me, forget the Gouch. I got him at my 9. I got him at my
See,
9.
Tycoon.
Yeah, I know.
If
I
you're
saw.
waiting to see, you're too late. All right. I'll stand corrected, but until
We'll
then,
see.
yeah, I'll wait.
Yeah, I got Pitts at my tight end 8 in my rankings. So for the Gouch, I got him at my 9th ranked team. I got him a C plus. For a lot of the reasons, I liked it. There were some reasons why I hated it. I like the Lance Debo stack. I think that, honestly, that's great to have. Running backs, I think, are incredibly weak in this group. I understand Hunt, Cook, are really good. They're going to be pass catchers. So at least it helps you in that regard, but it's very weak otherwise. There's really uh, there's no depth to it, in my opinion. I think the wide receivers are safe. Samuel's, okay. Johnson will get value. I don't like Michael Thomas in any shape, way, or form. I'm avoiding him everywhere. I'd rather have Jarvis Landry or Chris Olave. Really rather have one of those two. Tyler Boyd, I don't mind the pick. I understand your argument on him being the third, on his team, but he is
Yeah, and I'm
still
not hating it. I'm just
no,
with those other picks, it doesn't really work for the team.
he's a safety blanket for him. So the way I view him is like a tight end for any other team. I know they got picked up Hayden Hurst and they'll have him there, but I feel like Boyd is a better safety blanket in a lot of ways. So I think Boyd is a very solid option. I don't care for Watson, and I'm a big fan of Chark, like I said before. So a lot of this I like. The Kyle Pitts part, I just can't draft him that early. I'd rather go, Dalton Schultz, Goddard, Ertz. Rather grab one of those guys and go from there. The quarterbacks are fine. They're safe. They're easy. Other than that, it's not a sexy team to me. It's not someone that I really want to grab. So
Sorry, I'm just getting in the chat, man. We
yeah,
got people
no, I
popping
put
in.
it
What's
up.
up, Scott?
Yeah.
Bless up. All, how's it going, Scott? Welcome back. FF Season saying what up. Tycoon saying what up to Season.
Yes,
Wilson
sir.
out here doing his ambassador things. I love it. I love it. Asking Scott. Scott is a subscriber already, Wilson,
Yes,
but I
he is.
appreciate the hustle. Scott been in here getting it down with us. And yes, Dustin has been on vacation too long. But
We're trying.
when you're the COO, you could do those things. So he has the pass. Mike and I, and until then, you'll have to suffer with us. But we'll try to hold it down until we get the whole crew here again. And then of course Wilson saying what's up to Season. And yeah, Season, make sure you hit us up, man. We'll try to get you in this mock here on Friday. Just make sure you're on time and no auto drafting and no leaving early. That's one of our rules. Everybody knows. But you have credit, Season, so things happen. We understand when you mock as often as you do. We'll give you a pass. There it is. Hit him up. Classic _ Mike
that's
_
a sleeper. Yeah, that's a sleeper handle.
GRFN on sleeper. Yeah. There it is. Let's see. It's under C-. What does that say?
No, you're good. That's why I sent it to him. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. All right, for sure. All right, so here we go. Where are we at, man?
We are on Tycoon.
Oh, Tycoon. That's what he's waiting for.
Yeah,
Tycoon.
That's why he slipped in right before we were going.
He knew the timing. He's an expert of the game. He knows where we're at. He knows where to get in on that timestamp. What up, Tycoon? All right, so let's break this thing down here. Hopefully I gave him all right grade though. Oh, he's up there. He's up there. Oh, I got him better than you. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. All right, Tycoon. JT, the 101 and all other kind of formats, falls to Tycoon here, all the way at the 8th spot. Comes around, grabs Diggs as he sees all these QBs flying off the board. He says, I don't care. I'm Tycoon. I can find value. Grabs his QB1 and Derek Carr, which I don't hate. I think I have him as my QB 11 or 12.
I like Carr.
You and I are both high on him this year.
Yeah.
Obviously getting that Devontae Adams. Love that he's playing in the dome. Shootouts in his division. Should be able to put up a lot of points there.
Yeah.
What's he saying?
Sure. I have to pick my spots.
There you go. So then after Kari goes AJ Brown, who we know Tycoon's getting him everywhere he can. Then this is where he kind of just, throwing me for a mind loop here. I don't know if because he got sniped on Pitts, like Gotch got him like right there, because I know he would probably take Pitts there. So then he went Waller. Then on the turn came back around and grabbed Kittle again. So I don't know if that was an accident or what, or if he meant to do it. But when I kind of look around the guys who went, this is to me kind of that weird little wide receiver kind of dead zone, like those top kind of guys that are there. But again, I probably would have took like I'm surprised he didn't go like Moore or Sutton, Hollywood Brown possibly there in that spot. But again, he goes Kittle, and this is not tight end premium or anything like that.
Nope.
Then he goes and grabs Zach Wilson as his QB2, followed by Rashad Bateman as his wide receiver 3. Has solid guys up there. So he goes Hopkins as his wide receiver 4, but only grabs 4. Then he goes Ramondre Stevenson and his hero RB build. Then he goes Damian Pierce down here in the 11th, a little Marcus Mariota in the 12th, and then Darrell Henderson in the 13th, and some Tyler Algier. I think it's a different way to do that. I don't know. I think it's Algier. I've been hearing some other pronunciations of it lately, so I got to figure it out.
I'm the worst at it.
Tycoon, I know you know how to pronounce all these guys' names, so help a brother out. I heard you say it on your show. I just can't copy. I'm gonna have to go listen again. Fantasy boardroom for you guys who don't know. But yeah, man. So overall, since you hated on Tycoon, I'll let you break it down first.
Yeah. No, I gave this my 8. This is my 8th ranked team. It's not the worst, but not the best. For me, it's a B-. I'm not
highly intentional.
Yeah,
I'm just catching up on everything you're putting up there.
Algier.
Oh, okay. See, I knew it was Algier. See, he knows these things, so I believe him. So I'm going to go with that from now on.
All right. So for this build, I'm not a big fan of the bully tight end grouping. That's what it's called, the bully tight end. But like
with that 12 personnel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, I don't mind the Carr Waller stack. Wide receiver is the weakest. Only has 3 wide receivers for 6 weeks. For me, or sorry, you have 4 wide receivers for the 6 weeks. But you have the 4th, he's suspended for 6. So it is what it is. Solid running back group. He did a modified 0 running back. So for me, I don't mind I don't mind the quarterbacks. I'm not a big Mariota fan in any shape, way, or form. You can't sell me on him. There's nothing that you could say to make me change my mind about Mariota.
If Dave Kluge would have said it, he would have changed your mind.
No, he wouldn't. Not on Mariota. You cannot. I looked. I know. I have dug into
I have a
Mariota.
bun to pick with you when we go off air.
That's fine. I only did it for one person. One person, and that's it. I did it for Fournette. I moved maybe Elliott and maybe ETN, and
you did.
Only after. I did. I did, and it's after I heard his argument, and it makes sense. It actually makes more sense than mine.
Been saying the
my
same
argument
thing for
means
weeks
nothing.
to you.
Yeah,
he says it, and you're like, oh, okay. After one time, I've been beating you over the head with it.
But Mariota, I'm not folding on.
All right, fair enough. Good stuff. All right, so where'd you have him?
I had him at 8, B-.
B- at an 8. All right. So after Tycoon Classic over here, just ripping you a new one. I'm gonna come in here, man. Yeah. And so after my top 3, which I liked a lot, and then there was Dave Kluge, and then it was you, Tycoon. Came in here as my 5th ranked team. All things considered, I like just the different strategy. I think you pulled it off well. I identified what you're kind of saying here to Rafi as far as taking that other elite tight end off the board. And I'm just thinking about it this way. It is redraft. There are trades that happen, man. When you have a high value tight end like that after 2-3 weeks, when, guys like me draft Gerald Everett, and
I would have taken Sutton.
He's putting up like 4 points. You know what I'm saying?
I would have taken Sutton, Moore, Allen Robinson, Judy, Cooks. I would have taken any one of those guys.
Yeah, but Tycoon said Kittle's greater than all those guys you just mentioned.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't think so.
It was highly intentional what he was doing. So
no, I know.
I already said this to you.
He always does something different. That's why I love Tycoon. He always does something different.
See? He said, I knew you guys wouldn't love it, so I'm happy with the 5th from you. Tycoon, it's because I see it, man. I see what you're doing, and I appreciate it. Like, I'm all over it, brother.
See, I want to know why. I want to know why you are so low
Hey,
on Sutton.
Tycoon, if you have time, we'll shoot you the link. You
Yeah.
could come on here when we're done, and we'll have a little crash
Yeah,
session at the end.
we'll chat.
All right. So, hey, and I want to start doing that this year. You guys, let me know, man. We got 8 people in here right now. If I threw the stream out and we had like kind of like a video question, instead of asking the question in the chat, we'll put
Ooh,
the live stream out. You guys can come on air. You know, make sure your background's good. Make sure you got good
good stuff, Mike.
little setup. You know, as far as a mic. I don't want to hear any like echoes and stuff like that. But maybe we'll have you guys come on and ask your questions
Yeah, we could
live
do that one night.
with
We could
us.
do a
So yeah,
mailbag thing. Yeah, a
kind of have
mailbag
like a
thing.
little mailbag kind of thing. I don't know if that's a trademark by anyone, but you know, have you
No,
guys
who
come in and
cares?
ask your questions live on stream, and you guys can debate it out with us instead of in the chat. We'll just bring you on. We'll argue with you, and as soon as we're done or we don't like what you're saying, I'll just
We'll cut
remove
you
you.
off. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just simple as that. Just hang up on you. But no, that'll be a lot of fun. So we'll have to do that. You guys let me know if you like that idea. Let me know if you guys will participate in something like that. So there it is. What was he saying about that? Oh, Judy's greater than Sutton. Hey,
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of
Saying
how
he
I have
might
it,
be
but I
able
don't
to.
know, man. I just want to see. I want a piece of it. Like I'm trying to just get a piece of that offense, just like I'm trying to get a piece of the Bills in any way, shape, or form. Just like I'm
Yeah.
trying to get a piece
Well,
of
that's what
Kansas City.
I don't care. I'm
Like it's
trying to
just a
get
lotto
in.
ticket.
Yeah.
You're trying to get one or the other. I'm trying to get
I
some Judy. I'm trying
I
to get
like
some
Tim
Sutton.
Patrick. I'd rather have Tim Patrick over Judy at this point.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't.
He's going to be out there on
Jerry
12
Judy's one of the
personnel,
best route runners in the league.
but they're going to be
He was
running more
playing on a
12.
high ankle sprain last year. They're
He's
not going to be
playing on
running more
12
12
personnel.
personnel and
Yes,
all
they
this stuff.
are.
Dude, they're not. And even if
Why
they
wouldn't
are,
they?
and even if they are with Tim Patrick on the field, like nobody, like I need to go run those advanced stats, man, because nobody's really,
Tim
really
Patrick is a
running 12
solid.
personnel like too
I'm
crazy. Like I
telling
think
you.
the Rams and like who else ran like a lot of 12 personnel with that third wide receiver. But either still, man, it's
I'm telling you, man. Tim Patrick has something, and he needs
he may
Russ.
blow up here and there. He's a boomer bust guy to me. Like he's like an MVS to me. Like, and maybe he could catch he could catch a little better than MVS, but he's just gonna have those spike games. Like, I mean,
But he's not the
I
same
love some Tim
receiver.
Patrick in best ball. You know what I
No,
mean?
no, I'm
But
taking Tim
like,
Patrick everywhere in best
yeah,
ball.
I mean, like in best ball, he's a great little play.
But
But
the
like
problem,
for
I can't
season
pick
long,
him.
like, yeah, you're not. I mean, he's the third option there at best, and that's behind the 2 running backs. So
It,
again, I mean, we'll see. We all don't know, right? It's all
no,
new,
of
so
course.
we'll see.
For me, he's been held back by guys like Drew Lock, who haven't been able to show his true potential. And even in the games that Drew Lock has thrown him the ball, he still looks special.
Yeah,
I
but
just
go look at the videos of Drew Lock throwing Judy the ball
no,
when
I
he
get it.
looks
And
special.
I
Like,
I
you know what
like
I'm saying?
Judy.
Like,
I'm just saying I like Tim Patrick more because he's a more typical outside receiver. Judy is a slot receiver. And what's going to happen is they're going to take him out on 12 personnel because they run with Alberto and Jake Butt to go on the outsides to then get more blocking. Like they have one of the better lines for a reason. I honestly think that it's a better wide receiving group with Patrick, and I think Patrick is the better possession receiver compared to Judy. Judy is a downfield guy that can run routes that
Judy's
can
not a
cut.
downfield guy. He's a route technician.
He's both.
He can do both, and that's why I think he's better.
Yeah.
The chat's going crazy off this conversation though. So
Yeah.
we struck a
Yeah.
chord. We
Yeah.
found something where everyone's on different sides and different every here,
See,
man. I love
Wilson, I
this.
don't mind Hamler. The problem with
Look at
Hamler
this.
is he's not going to be
Oh, did you
healthy.
see this up here though? It's Scott that started this
Hinton.
craziness. He said
Yeah.
he likes Hinton more than Judy. Now that's just absurd.
Yeah. I wouldn't go
Tycoon's
that
laugh.
far.
That's awesome. I love that take,
Yeah.
but keep it coming. Yeah, and that's
Okay.
why I tried to sell
I'm
off
gonna have
something
to
last
double
year
check,
too.
man, because
But I
honestly,
think it's also too because of the quarter. Like I think they both can eat. Like
well,
he
they were
can.
holding back Sutton last year because of the ACL coming back. So for me, I understand all the
Nah, not when
arguments.
Judy was down. They needed to lean on him even
They
more, and
needed
him and the
to
running
no,
game.
no, no. But
They
that
just
that was
couldn't.
my point. They in the beginning of the season, they held him out because they were trying to ease him back in. They threw Judy out there. Judy got hurt in the Giants game. After
Like
that game,
immediately, that was like week 2, wasn't it? I thought he
week
snapped
3,
his
something like
ankle.
that.
It was
Oh,
like
dude, I thought he was out for the
he
year.
Dak Prescotted his ankle, and I was
Oh yeah,
surprised.
it
I
looked bad.
was like, "There's no way he's coming back," and he sure
Yeah,
enough
he
did.
played
Like they
6
just
games
said,
last
yeah,
season.
crazy. Anyway,
And it's a different coaching staff, like Mike said right here. It's going to be a whole different offense. So
yeah,
I like it. I
you
like the
can't use
new.
any
Like
of that
new is
other.
always better.
Yeah,
But
And that's why you want a piece of it. That's why I'm just like, nobody knows. You just got to grab a piece of it if you can.
agreed.
Like if someone grabs Judy first, then you go grab Sutton. If somebody grabs Sutton, then you go grab Judy.
No, I
Pretty
agree.
close
And,
after.
and that's my whole point. Like, I don't mind grabbing Judy, but if I can get the value of Tim Patrick later, I prefer Tim Patrick. And that's why I like him, because of the value. Because if you're grabbing someone like Judy,
I'm
you're
drafting for
missing out.
points, Mike, not value.
No, I'm
Value
drafting
doesn't
for
earn you points.
value because I can get a guy like
Good
Allen
players
Robinson
do.
instead of Judy, and then I can grab Tim Patrick in the 12th, and I'm happy with that.
I don't know. We can
Uh-huh.
agree to disagree here.
Uh-huh. Anyway,
I think I won that for sure.
I don't know.
But it's all good.
Think
I
so.
love it. That was good stuff right there. I like that, man. That was a good back and forth. All right,
Thanks,
Tycoon. You see what you make us do here. All this controversy on your team.
No, let them fight out. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
you
let
guys
them
can
fight
keep
in the
it going
chat.
in the chat. We'll take this off air. But yeah, so we'll move on here. We digress. So again, just to recap: fifth ranked team and a B overall. Dak Prescott is now a verb, Anthony. Yeah,
he really is,
Dak
though.
Prescott at his ankle. You
Dude, that twist was when I saw the twist on the ankle, and I thought he broke it. I literally went. I was sitting with my brother watching the game with my
bad,
nephew,
dumb boys.
and I went. He just tore
yeah.
his. I thought his ankle.
You guys know from last year, whenever anything like that happens, we got to record it. I grab my son and the one that wants to be in sports medicine.
Oh,
and we watch those injuries, man. Trying to kind of numb him to it a little bit so he can, work on that and be able to dissect what's all going on and the injury that happens from it. So we get into that stuff, man. But yeah,
Mike, I appreciate that info.
What's going on?
Hatchett is a offensive coordinator for the Packers before he became the head coach for the Denver. Yeah. No, it's awesome.
So yeah, so they're it out. So that'll be good. So good stuff, man. Keep it coming, dude. I love this. Good chat. Keep it going. Let's go. So we'll move on.
Yeah.
After Tycoon, we got Mr. Gus Bus, 24 in the house.
Gus.
Gus Bus here drafted in the 9 spot.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, break it down, man. I think I did Tycoon, so you can
Yeah, no, I got Gus. So we got Jalen Hurts in the first round, then grabs Kirk Cousins in the third on the way back. Then he went with Baker in the 11th. This was just after we heard about Baker going to Carolina, which is good. Then he goes with James Conner in the fourth.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for the support, brother.
Yeah, later, Mike. I'll hit you up. We already connected. We're good. So he goes James Conner in the fourth, Alvin Kamara in the fifth, goes Chase Edmonds in the 10th, and then a good Mark Ingram grab at the end. I strongly suggest, I don't care if it's redraft, best ball, grab him at the end.
Got a lot of share.
You never know. And then on top of that, you got Justin Jefferson in the second round, Mike Williams in the 6th, Gabe Davis in the 8th, which I'm very upset with myself about.
Couldn't believe that happened to you.
I know. Never let that happen, but I auto picked Amari Cooper because I was talking too much, and that's what screwed me. So Chris Olave in the 9th, Sky Moore in the 12th, Kenny Galladay in the 13th, and then Dalton Schultz in the 7th. So
peace out, them boys.
Yeah, them boys. Later, brother. Oh, no. He's saying peace out to Mike, not to us.
Oh, to the other Mike. I thought it meant classic
Correct.
Mike.
No,
I thought them boys was leaving. I was like, they're showing you all the love, but hey, who am I? It's all good.
So for me, this is my number 1 team. I gave this an A.
Don't get fined. Oh, go ahead. My bad. Oh, wait.
Oh, no. I was going to say, this is my 1.
Whoa. I'm interrupting you on your 1. Whoa.
Yeah,
run it back. It was your number 1 ranked team, and you gave it an A?
This is my number 1, my A. I love this team. He kind of Rafi kind of gave it right here. I may be in the minority, but you're not. Jefferson Cousins stack is fire, especially in this new system. I agree 110%. The Mike O'Donnell offense, that thing is going to be crazy. So for me, I love this team. I love the Jefferson Cousins stack, like I just said. Running back is probably the weakest part of this team, and it's the only reason why I wouldn't give it anything higher. I should have maybe gave it an A-. But at the end of the day, the wide receivers are what make this team phenomenal, in my opinion. For me, there's just too much uncertainty with the running back. Kamara, if he's playing, great. You're good. But at the end of the day, Chase Edmonds, he's going to probably be the lead back in Miami, in my opinion. Mark Ingram, if Kamara is out. So that's a good little, it's a good handcuff to have. Really is. I'm very high on Gabe Davis. I am literally the conductor of the Gabe Davis hype train. I follow the guy. I do everything that I can to be on part, to be a part of this whole group. On top of that,
I
the
know Mike
Jefferson
went out and got a
stack,
Gabe Davis Bills Mafia
I'm gonna
tattoo.
have to at this point. It's bad. Um, Otherwise, I love the Dalton Schultz pick too. So I'm not a big Hurts fan, but like I said in the beginning, I don't mind having that rushing quarterback and that guy that sits in the pocket. Like I don't mind it at all. So for me, I am completely on board with this
Hype
team.
train.
There can be a little bit of tweaks that you can do, but overall, I like the whole team here.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, just came in as my number 2 ranked team. So we weren't too far off. We're kind of seeing a
Nice.
lot of the same things. Came in as a B plus for me. Besides the flex, is just probably one of the more balanced starting lineups
Yeah.
that he had. That when you just kind of look at just the starters
Yeah.
overall, covered himself, with that Ingram Kamara stack, like you said. I was saying the same thing here that Jefferson's cousin stack with that Hurts rushing upside as the QB, 1 or 2, however you kind of want to look at them. But it's just like you're saying, having that guy that has that, rushing kind of floor or upside, if you will, along with that kind of pocket passer. When I play Superflex, I like to kind of have one of each, just to kind of spread your eggs out, so to speak, and not have them all in one basket. Just to try to accumulate the most points you can. So I really like that. And just to me, if he makes it to the playoffs, this is a very scary team,
Yeah. I agree.
to play with. So again, a little bit of potential depth concerns, but his starters are so high valued
Yeah.
and have such high potential that again, as long as they stay healthy, this team's tough to compete with in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, for sure. So
There you go,
all
Gus
right, cool
Bus.
beans.
All right, so we'll move on.
This is
We'll get through
Martin's
this
team.
one. Yeah, so this is Martin's team.
Oh, it won't
We do
light
so
up.
many mocks. He probably just got out of it, so it doesn't show in your sleeper
Uh,
history.
Boo.
But he was drafted here in the 10 spot, so we'll roll through his team here.
Sorry.
He goes Cooper Cup with his first pick. Then goes Matt Stafford and gets that stack there, which I really like. His RB1 is Javonte Williams, followed by his QB2, Matt Ryan. Then he grabs his RB2 in Antonio Gibson, grabs his RB3 in J.K. Dobbins, grabs his tight end in Dallas Goddard, then grabs his RB4 in Ken Walker, grabs his wide receiver 2 all the way down here in the 9th, I believe that is, Alan
Yeah.
Lazard.
Yep.
Then goes Trey Burks in the 10th, Michael Gallup, which I really like, in the 11th, Ronald Jones down here in the 13th. Or am I off around? I think I'm off around.
No, you're fine.
Alex Pierce in the 13th, and then follows up with Kenny Pickett
In the
down here in the 14th. So I may have been off there as far as rounds, but
yeah.
Either way,
General gist.
yeah, you guys got the idea. That was the order. To me, for a super flex team, even though he has good running back depth, they all kind of have a lot of question marks, like literally coming off injury.
Yeah.
I'm not at. I know he's higher. He and I are kind of high. Higher than I guess industry on Gibson. But it is still a little scary.
Yeah.
Kind of went with a hero wide receiver build. Does have that Stafford, Cup combo, which could potentially make up, for some of that. But then other than that, he's grabbing a lot of rookies and stuff like that. We know Martin's a big dynasty player, so he sees
Yeah.
those values in those guys and would
Oh, for
rather
sure.
go, with the potential than what the known, average that you're going to
Sometimes.
get for some of these guys. So
Yeah.
sometimes it's better to shoot for that upside and get that lotto ticket in there. So I don't hate it, but you could definitely tell, that's what he was going for. And so overall, like I said, it came in as my 10th ranked team. I had to give it a B minus. I like the names, but just the construction of it, how it's all put together. I'm not that big of a fan of it.
Yeah. I mean, I was a little bit more of a fan than you were. The last few teams at the very end were hard to kind of like put them in order. For me, this wasn't a horrible build. I like what he did in general. And who he was able to get. I might have done a couple of different things and this would have been one of my favorite teams if it was a little bit different. I mean, if he went Jacobs and Sanders instead of, Dobbins, I would have, and Gibson, I would have probably had this team a lot higher. Just because I'm not a fan of Dobbins. A lot of reports are saying that he's probably not even going to make it to training camp. Probably won't make it through to week 1, and he hurt himself around that time. So I'm just not a fan of Dobbins at this point. Gibson, same, he's just in a very crowded backfield, and I just don't like his situation. Ken Walker, same kind of idea, but at the same time, we don't know what's going to happen in that scenario. It's just a lot of uncertainty. I do like the Ronald Jones pick late. I'm surprised he was there that late, but I do like the Stafford Cup, combination. I'm good with that. I like the Matt Ryan, Alec Pierce. I like those. I like his wide receivers overall. Burks is okay. I don't like the Gallup pick. Gallup, just avoid. He's not coming back until like December. Like, just not worth my time. You want to put him on IR, fine, but I can't. I don't want to waste my pick at 11 for him. Like, there's no one at that area that I would want to waste my pick for. And the pick doesn't really matter to me. So, I got him at a 7 at B-.
All right, so not too far off, a little more than me.
Yeah.
Scott there says, I love both Connor and Edmonds, just meh on both of the Aints running backs for me. I've taken Ace Smith last
round, few times.
The last
on
round.
Underdog,
A few times on Underdog in drafts, no Kamara and 0 Ingram. I think I have no Kamara.
I don't have any.
Just kind of a guy that I'm just kind of fading when he's going, and I do have a ton of Ingram though. Because in those 0 RB builds, and hero RB builds that I'm doing over there in best ball, because you have to go so wide receiver heavy in those things. I love grabbing.
I grab him late.
You just kind of grab a modge podge of potential starting running backs down there at the end. So there it is. So we'll move on. We got Classics team coming up here next. I guess I'll break it down since it's yours.
You break it.
You win Jamar Chase with your first round pick, followed by Russell Wilson. Then you grab your 2 running backs in Barkley and Chubb, followed by Jalen Waddle, which was a surprise pick to me.
It was
me. But again, you had a guess, so a lot of stuff going on. Then you went Daniel Jones, who I know you're pretty high on.
I am
more as a QB3 versus a QB2, but we can fight about that another day. Zach Ertz, to me, great pick here. I think you probably got him. I think you got him a little early. Like, I think Hawkinson would have went actually about where he went. I don't think he would have went before Ertz. Honestly,
no, Hawk's been going a lot earlier. I grabbed him because of the run that happened.
But I don't think, as you saw, nobody else was going tight end after that. So I think you personally could have waited there a bit. But I don't hate it in the grand scheme of things. I just think you probably could have done a little better. I'm not big on Cooper. I do like Singletary there. Then you went and grabbed Renfro, Michael Carter, Trubisky. Michael Carter is one of those guys that I just have no idea what the potential is for him.
Absolutely love Michael Carter. He's going to be their pass catcher, even though Breece Hall can be a third down back. They're not going to use him that way because they don't want to wear him out. Especially because they drafted both these guys to be their running backs. So why not? I think they just got to. I mean, they traded up for Breece Hall to get him in the second. So I understand they're going to use him, but at the same time, they had Michael Carter do very well and still a good running back. I think they're going to just, it might be a 60-40 split or 7-30.
Saying it now, Carter might be like that Myles Gaskin situation
for sure,
where he just kind of ends up just getting phased out, even though we know he has.
I don't know if he gets phased out.
He just might just end up kind of falling out of contention there. I don't know. He's just someone I'm just kind of fading overall.
I like him.
In those positions, I usually just kind of grab somebody else, and I'll grab some other handcuff type guys.
If anything, I would have gone Ronald. I would have gone Ronald Jones.
And again, but that's what I mean. And again, I'm just not trying to grab pieces of the Jets' offense, really.
I mean,
more so. So like,
they're going to be sneaky good, man. I'm telling you.
Again,
they built that lineup to protect Zach Wilson.
It's okay. You drafted him, so I know you got to defend him. It's all good. I'm just telling the people out there, don't fall crazy with that Jets offense just because they paid all that money out there. Let's see it a little bit first, and then I'll get on that train. But again, it's a risk you're willing to take. I mean, it's your RB4, so it's not that big of a deal. And then you go Trubisky after that, followed by Rachaad White, And then some Mecole Hardman just grabbing a piece of that Kansas City offense down there in the 14th, which is great.
Yeah.
I mean, did like Sky Moore and MVS, everybody else
I'm
went
not
before Hardman already on those two. So
I'm not a big Sky Moore fan. I'm not. We've already had this discussion, but
yeah, and I think I even told you on the stream, or maybe it was somebody else's stream that I was
no, it
saying
was
my
ours.
hot take. It was, and I said Justin
Justin
Ross, I
Ross.
think, is
Yeah.
the guy to look out for there. Um, Obviously, big time injury risk, but
Yeah. No, I
dude's
like
talent is
Harmon just
amazing.
because of
Forgot
what
about.
I like him because of the concept that they drafted him to be the replacement for Tyreek Hill when and if he were to go. So I'm
Yeah.
good with it. Yeah.
So there it is. So anyway, with all that said, to me, Mike, you came in at number 8,
Nice.
8th ranked team for me. It was a B. Just I thought just some picks were kind of, again, just guys I'm not grabbing. Waddle, Cooper. I think if you would have went,
If I went
Mike
Sutton
Williams,
there,
and
yeah,
or even Sutton, and then when Gabe Davis, instead
yeah,
of Cooper there.
yeah.
To me, I think you move up my board quite a bit actually if you make those two moves.
Well, and
Otherwise,
those were the two moves that I didn't where I either auto picked it or I just wasn't thinking.
oh, there you go. We'll see.
Yeah.
I can pick it out from there.
Yeah.
And again, we kind of talked about it. I didn't
Yeah.
like your QB2.
Nice.
To me, he's more of a QB3. But to me, again, it's better than nothing. And once you get less than that, then don't just take a QB to take one.
I'd rather take him over Mac Jones and Zach Wilson and Jared Goff's my cutoff. Like I like him and Goff.
Yeah, again, when you're down there that far.
Well, yeah.
As well. So again, I don't hate it. I think you're, right in there, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it is on the lower half on this one.
Yeah.
But I do like that you tried something different. You grabbed that wide receiver first, which I very rarely see you do.
Very rarely do that.
But then you just panicked and kind of grabbed those two back-to-back running backs there. And I think if you would have just grabbed a quarterback there instead, possibly.
Yeah.
But again, you kind of got sniped right there. Like Cousins is kind of that tier break for me right there as well too.
No, Ryan would have been fine.
Yeah.
I like Ryan. Ryan's my Cousins and Ryan are in the same tier for me.
Yeah. So if you do that and then you grab another running back here, instead of Jones, because you already have that other quarterback. Again, just things fall,
No, understood. I would have gone if I went that way, I would have went with Jacobs where Waddle was.
Oh yeah, you like Jacobs there too. Yeah.
I love Jacobs there. And then I probably would have gone with, Sutton here where Daniel Jones is. So honestly, like there was a lot of things I could have changed, but overall,
you're holding it down. You had a big time guest on, a little starstruck. I was talking to him pregame. That was fun. So either way, good team, Mike. Way to show the drafters.
I try.
And the people out there, what not to do. Not just kidding. Just keep it on your toes. Keep it on your toes. Nice. But not bad, man. And again, it's a mock, man. We're here to critique it. That's what it's for. We don't always get it right. Things happen. But that's why we mock. That's what we're here for. Yeah. So go ahead, man. Take us home. Wilson, I know he might not even made it this late. No. When he drops in the 12th spot, he is in that central time. So it's getting a little late. But if he is here, he'll probably show up in the chat in a second. But yeah, break it down.
Yeah, so Wilson went with Tannehill a little late, goes with him in the 5th round, and then goes Jared Goff in the 7th. Grabs Davis Mills in the 11th, and for his Mr. Irrelevant, decided to, why not grab Jacoby Brissett? Why not? Then goes with Austin Eckler in the 1st round, Najee Harris in the 2nd round, goes Josh Jacobs in the 6th, Melvin Gordon in the 9th, and J.D. McKissick in the 13th. Goes Tyreek Hill in the 3rd with Mike Evans in the 4th, grabbing Darnell Mooney in the 8th, Robert Woods in the 10th, and then Pat Freiermuth, the Muth, is at 12th round. So I'm going to let you go first and break this team down and what you picked and all that, because it's way different from what I picked.
Oh, this is where we differed, huh?
This is where we differ.
Yeah. All right. So for me, if you guys have been keeping track, there's only one spot I'm missing, which is that 12. And unfortunately, Wilson, I love you. It's nothing personal. I truly appreciate everything you do here for the channel and getting the subscribers and the hustle. But this draft, unfortunately, man, you snooze, you lose on those QBs. Just waited too long for me. These are not guys like when I'm staring down the, barrel of, Jackson and Rodgers, or, even a Mahomes, Winston, Murray and Dak, Burrow and Lance and Hurts and Cousins. I mean, when I'm looking here at Tannehill and Goff, I'm like, come on. Like Josh Allen's outscoring both those guys by himself. So to me, that's where you just miss it. I mean, you could say it's nice and all you want, but you have to at least go anchor quarterback and just get one of those guys, man. You need at least a top 12 guy. Grab at least one top 12 guy if you can. Um, or just get some world beaters. Grab Justin Jefferson, instead of those two running backs there, Najee, over Najee. Um, Again, just not a fan of how he built the team. I love it's here, to see how it goes if you were to do it. It's just again not how I would want to build a team. And again, it's just my rank. So I came in with my 12th ranked team. Unfortunately, there, Wilson. I'm sorry, man. I really am sorry. C minus for me.
It's all good, brother.
Only because I was nice. It's probably really a D team for me, but I couldn't do it like that.
Yeah, no, for me it's a little bit different. I'm on this is my third best team.
Oh.
Yeah, I really like this team. For me, it's a B plus in my opinion. There's a few tweaks that could have maybe be done.
He's here.
He gave you the love. I'm trying to. I got it.
You got it. Well, you were talking. When you're talking, I'll
all right.
Fair, you got it. Fair. You got it.
So for me,
he might be punching me though, so I don't know what it is. It's either like a fist bump to you, or he's punching me in the face. We'll say it's both.
So for me, I don't mind what he did. I mean, it's kind of a modified zero RB type or zero QB situation, which I don't mind for this build. Ryan Tannehill, for me, a solid quarterback. He has a good run game behind him. Yeah, he's not going to score a ton of points, but he will give you a decent floor. Jared Goff, same exact thing. And I think in some ways, probably even better than Tannehill, and actually has a better situation with the weapons that they just got for him recently. So I'm fine with him. I'm also really high on David Mills. Like, we're both high on him. Davis Mills is one of those guys that we both really like. And I see a lot of potential with him. I think that they did a lot to try to make it so that he could do better. I'm on board with the Davis Mills as my QB3. The Brissett pick is I don't give a crap. Like, who cares? He can just get rid of him. It's more of one of those situations that if he becomes it, he has that one extra guy better than everybody else. And to be completely honest, Wilson did that in our listener league all year last year, sniping the one extra guy that someone might need all year long. It's not a bad move. I would have maybe gone wide receiver. That's just me. End of the day, his wide receivers are probably one of the better groups out here. There's little depth though, because in this scenario, I think if memory serves me, we had 3 wide receiver spots for this particular grouping. So for that, it kind of hurts his team a little bit, but at the same time, I think they're still strong. I think Hill, Evans are very good complements to one another. Mooney is going to see a ton of volume. Woods, when he's healthy, he's stacked up right there with Tannehill, so I don't mind that at all. I think his running backs are just fire. Like, you got Eckler in that backfield, that offense. Najee is just a volume machine. Jacobs, Gordon, and McKissick. Those are 3 guys that I'm really high on. Pat Freiermuth, it is what it is. He should be solid, for the most part. I honestly great memory, Mike, on QB strategy last year. Of course, zero QB. So for me, I like this team a lot more than what you might think, but it's only because of those different, that different thought process, and the guys that he picked. But like I said, if it were to be like what you said, picking up Russell Wilson instead, grabbing Eckler, and then maybe grabbing, Ryan on the turn or something like that, and having Barkley there. So I don't know. There's many things that could have made that team a little bit better, but at the same time, I still feel confident in what that team is. It's a very solid team.
Nice. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
I know my camera went out. I'm trying to get it restarted now, but if you can hear me, that's cool.
No, I can hear you.
At least I'm not making it too crazy of a face.
No, you're good, brother.
Awesome. But yeah, so, and again, just a little bit of rebuttal there. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the 0 QB try. And again, that's why we do it, to see how it turns out. Again, just not the way, I like it. That's a great bet on a weekly over under Josh Allen versus any 3 of these QBs. like this team though, truthfully.
Yeah, it looks good.
So again, and it is like it's more like a one QB kind of team to me versus a super flex. But again, I don't think he has such a great advantage. I mean, again, to me, like if you look at like just let's take Flag Dog for example, you got McCaffrey, Brady, Fournette, Trevor Lawrence versus Eckler, Najee, Tannehill, and Goff. Like which of those four would you rather have? You know what I'm saying? Like to me, give me that McCaffrey, Brady, Fournette, Lawrence, versus
Yeah,
those, Eckler, Harris, Tannehill, Goff.
I
So
get
that's what I'm
that.
just
I'm
saying
just
is like the positional advantage in this superflex, league. Again, you can sometimes get away with it depending on how you just have to read those superflex drafts. But for me, when you're in that 12 spot, you can't risk not grabbing. Like when you see almost half the teams take a first quarterback, they're pretty much grabbing another quarterback either right away or after. To me, the best way to build that Superflex team from the 12 spot that I've seen, and
mhm.
again, until I see otherwise, for me, it's all about going quarterback, quarterback, running back, and then the receivers from there.
Okay.
So, am I back now?
Yeah, you're back.
Hey, there we go. So to me, that's just kind of the way the teams kind of come together best for me, just again on how I want to do it. But just like Scott was saying there, I was kind of looking up that Allen comparison. I mean, my man's scoring 30 plus points a week. And again, you got Tannehill and Goff scoring 20 and Tannehill and Jones barely scoring 17, 18 a week. I mean, that's going to be tough. And again, you're just losing AJ Brown. But I mean, there's some weeks Tannehill's putting 17, 18, 14. I mean, that's just to me,
I get it.
it's you're just so behind on that positional advantage. You're so behind. And the nominal difference of points that you're getting advantage, quote unquote, at the running back and other positions, your wide receivers, isn't
Mhm.
even really that great. I mean, Tyreek Hill and Evans, yeah, they're great, but it's not like you got Jefferson and Chase.
Well,
You didn't get JT and CMC. Like
true.
you're not getting these like guys who could just literally win you weeks by themselves. You
No, I
know,
get that, and that's one reason why a lot of people are on the whole third round reversal at that, and because of that 12 spot. And I was going to show you real quick that we've had the first 4 rounds of my Scotty Fishball draft. Here's
hey, bring it up.
what we
Make it
got
full
going
screen.
on.
Go full screen on that bad
Oh,
boy.
you want it? Okay, give me
I
one.
got you.
Oh,
I
okay.
can produce a little bit still.
Nice. So, I mean, for this, the third round reverses and goes back, and for our 12th team draft director over here, he went Tom Brady, Prescott, and then he's able to grab Najee on the way back because
Oh,
we
what?
had a
You're in the same
6.
league as draft director?
Yeah.
He's mocked with us before. That's what's up.
Oh, that's
He's
awesome.
part of another fantasy channel.
Yes, he is. He
Yeah.
he was listed as an analyst. So for me, just a little breakdown of my team. I went Herbert at the 102, and then I had Mixon at the 211, and then I had to wait for a minute. And to be completely honest, I actually made the joke in the chat because we have a group chat going that you know I hope Barkley falls to me, and yeah, Barkley fell to me, and it was between Barkley, Fournette, and Javonte Williams. I go with Barkley, and Rambler over here went Chubb, Lamb, and I grabbed Fournette. So
I think you're
now,
missing out on that wide receiver, man, but
no, it's
we'll see
okay.
who comes
And the
back.
only
There's not
reason
too many
why
off the board.
I'm not saying it because I'm not going to give away what I do. A few people liked my post and my for my posting about the show, so they could be watching. So I'm not even going to tell you what I'm doing.
There you go.
But
Keep it a
yeah,
secret.
understood. I know what I gotta do on the turns, and what I'm coming back to. But the reason why I bring it up is because of the third round reversal, where the way that it's viewed in this type of build, and ages, the way that it goes. If you do it the normal way that we've been doing it, you get three players in the top 15 for their position for the 1 and 2, and then everyone at the end gets like nothing.
Right.
So I completely understand why they changed it for this, and I just wanted to show that. Like I just wanted to show that that's why they change it. But this build, these teams have been
Third
doing
round
a little.
reversals are fun. If you haven't tried one of those,
Oh yeah,
go try
definitely
one.
try.
You can run it on Sleeper, and the mock drafts in there, they do it. And again, you can practice for your Scotty Fishbowl and try to get in there.
Yeah, for next year.
That's
Definitely.
what's up, man.
And on top of that, make sure you guys check out Underdog. They are doing satellite mocks right now. So if you guys get an opportunity, make sure you guys check them out right up here. Check out Underdog. Use our promo code Get Right. When you use promo code Get Right, they will match what you have, whatever you put in, up to $100. And for this, you end up getting a chance to get into next year's Scotty Fishbowl if you win that. $5. That's it. And whatever money is in there, it's being donated. So it's at least going to a good cause. So make sure you guys check that out. Make sure you guys use our promo code. Also, make sure you guys are liking and subscribing to the show. That's huge. So make sure you guys like and subscribe right up here. Ooh.
I just wanted to peek in. This is my satellite mock for my Scotty Fish. So anyway, go ahead. I didn't mean to disrupt
but make sure, no, you're good. Just make sure you guys like and subscribe. Helps us, helps everybody. We're 3 people away from 400. So let's get to that 400, that big milestone for us. We'll start, like Ant said, doing giveaways at one point or another. And then, we're looking to give away spots to that listener league too at one point.
Absolutely.
So make sure you guys check it out.
Absolutely. And to throw it out there too, for some of you guys who might be wondering, yes, we are going to be doing our big tournament, our mock draft tournament. So basically, we're going to run it the last 4 weeks leading up to the start of the season. Each week we'll be grading a mock. The top 3 people will compete in a final mock draft where it's the top 3 of every draft. And
that'll be on Friday.
Yeah, for the Friday night mocks, and it'll basically culminate in those 12 folks going into a best ball, and they'll draft, and the winner of that will get $50, plus maybe some other stuff, but at least $50 will go to the winner there. Shout out to our one and only Fantasy Tycoon who took that down last year. So that was so Mike was in there.
I was number 2.
And so that was a good one there, man. So
mixing it up,
that'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, so those of you who don't know, this is Underdog. When you get in there, this is how it looks with the draft. You can see here, I'm in a slow draft right now, and I'm on the 12 spot, of course, that we were just talking about.
Nice.
And I went Justin Jefferson and Matt Stafford. So that's how I'm starting mine out now. You can see it's just a big time quarterback run. And then I decided to go Stafford Jefferson. So I'm just trying to find upside, just get good players early, safe bets, and then, I'll kind of fill it in around there.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Cool beans.
All right. So with that said, man, I think that might do it here.
Yes.
Just want to say, we appreciate Wilson here saying third round reversal is awesome. Yeah. And Scott saying mucho corazon Kings, love you guys. Friday, so we'll see you Friday, my man. So yeah, man. So I don't know what I was saying there, but basically we'll wrap it up. We'll be back at it here on Friday again. Just we appreciate the support, helping us grow, man. Trying to get it here up over 400, and then we'll be eyeing down that 500 mark. Hopefully we can hit that, by the end of the season. If not, well before then would be awesome. Again, check the description, and you don't even have to come in and join our sleeper channel. Get in there, you'll get those live injury updates. You'll get some other perks that I can't necessarily talk about here, but if you go in there, check out the pin post, you can see what's there. A lot of questions. Send us your screenshots of your teams. We'll break them down in there. It's basically like our free Discord or Patreon or whatever you want to call it. Myself, Classic, Dustin, Frank not so much, but when he does, we try to get in there and answer your guys' questions, as well as guys like Tycoon and boys Wilson are in there helping us answer questions as well. Martin. So it's just our kind of little community where we all get together and chat while we're not live for those who can't make the live shows. So it's just a great community to be a part of. Help us, by telling your friends. If you're watching, hit that like button for us. and help us get some subscribers. And again, those will be the guys who are getting those entries into that listener league drawing. If you bring us subscribers, we'll get you entries into the drawing to win that seat. So 7 spots are available. So with that said, man, I think I'll take us off after that. Rafi, what's up, man? Love your addition, man, to the community and what you bring.
Love Rafi.
In the mocks. You bring a great energy, brother. Supporting us here on the live streams, through and through, almost at the 2-hour mark. So we appreciate that. All you guys in here, man, can't appreciate it enough. So with that said, man, we'll keep working on getting these guests in here for you. Keep working behind the scenes. We got some big things going on. If anybody is interested in mocking, we actually have another mock tomorrow from one of our new shows joining the Get Right Fantasy Network. It's going to be the 2-a-days podcast with our one and only Cody McGoats. They're going to be starting up again. So if you guys are interested, hit up Classic Mike for that. Yep. We need some guys for tomorrow, I believe at 8 p.m. Eastern. For that draft. So anyone here that's interested, let us know. You know how to get a hold of us. So we'll welcome him. And I have another meeting with another content creator tomorrow morning. So we might be adding another to the channel as well. And I still need to get a hold of Jeezy because he's supposed to be on here with us too. But I've been slacking on that part. But we're getting to it, man, now that we're getting closer to the season. So with that said, with all that housekeeping out of the way, we can roll those sleeves down, man. Let's relax. Let's chill out. Go back to what you're doing. We'll see you guys here on Friday. Until then, just stay easy, man. Be safe. Everybody love everybody. We're out.
Later.
Take us out.